LockNReload. So we're going ahead and bringing you another product specifically designed for the AR-15. We're actually bringing you a product from a company you all are probably are familiar with by now. It is Mission First Tactical. Again, I discovered Mission First Tactical, about a year or so ago at DPMS's Outbreak Omega. So therefore, I've been inspired to go ahead and try out some of their products ever since. That being said, I'm always looking for a good product when it comes to not necessarily close quarter combat, but something that I can, hold my rifle in real close to my shoulders for, those close quarter zombie encounters, for when the zombie apocalypse possibly could happen. Not really. Anyways, I'm going to bring you the RMG, which is the Reactive Mag Well Grip. This one is designed with the mind of this being as close to the mag well as possible. This one also allows you to be able to access this and put this on a Picatinny rail on your AR-15. Therefore you can quickly attach it. The only tools you need is a screwdriver and the mag well grip, or the RMG itself. Some of the features of this one: it allows midpoint balance and less effort to direct muzzle, so you can direct muzzle, and I will demonstrate that later in the video. It allows you to put a pressure pad on either the right side or the left side. Bear in mind, it is designed for the Surefire pressure switch for your tactical flashlight. So if you have anything that isn't a Surefire, it's probably not going to work, which it's kind of a downfall. They should have made it so it can accept anything, any pressure switch, honestly, but they made it for Surefire specifically. Not saying that's a bad light, it's an awesome light. They're very expensive though, as you all know. They're not cheap, but you get what you pay for, I guess. Anyways, so you can go ahead and activate your pressure switch with this one, and that's what these little rubber inserts are for, is to hold your Surefire pressure switch in, because that's what it's designed for. It has watertight storage on the bottom here. You can pull this particular watertight door open, and you can store ammo, batteries, most likely batteries, and it'll hold it in it'll hold it in airtight and watertight. Very, very good rubber, by the way. This is one of the few Mission First products that I've seen outside of the other stuff that I'm reviewing for Mission First Tactical that actually sports the Mission First Tactical logo. Because I believe they bought out CAA or Command Arms Accessories, or they bought them, I don't know. All I know is Phobos owns them. That's all I can tell you. Anyway, this will not interfere with any magazine manipulation or any magazine function. It is designed for the M16, AR-15, and the HK416. Or designed for anything basically that has a magazine well, that has a rail system. It'll probably work. So if you have a Ruger 1022 that's your AR trainer, you could probably adaptate that, provided you have a long enough Picatinny rail forward handguard. Again, not a whole lot to state about it. It is made by the military grade DuPont plastic. It does have stippling and finger grooves, if you can see that. And this is a pretty basic model. Very basic, actually. And the one thing that I like about products like this, it is not over-engineered, so you have no moving parts, nothing's going to break. And again, I've always been a big fan of aluminum parts, stuff like that, just because they're rigid. I've always been skeptical about plastic parts or polymer parts, because again, over time they probably could fatigue, break, whatever. But again, this isn't a moving part, so the likeliness of you breaking it, pretty unlikely. Not impossible, but pretty unlikely. My overall thoughts, again, this is my preliminary review. There is going to be an after-action review. How we're going to adaptate this as far as the light, I had to do some, not modifications to it, but I had to go a different route without using the actual rubber insert. Because again, I have a UTG EL228 light that I'm using and testing, and just to see, you know, a good inexpensive light or a fairly cheaper priced light is worth the money. Because again, I'm budget minded, I'm not made of money. That's what my channel is based on. It's also based on a very non-biased review, hence why you get, that's why I provide initial reviews and preliminary reviews, because it gives me my afterthoughts, and I don't want to make a 45-minute video on a review on a particular item. I don't have that kind of time. So it is what it is. I do have a day job and just don't have that kind of time. So let's go ahead and mount this on the weapon, and we'll put in my pressure switch the way I had to do it. And again, the tools you need is the actual RMG itself and a flathead screwdriver. And go ahead and loosen that. That actually has a positive lockout. They're actually interlocked on the inside, so which is kind of nice for being more rigid. And with this one, again, this is my Chiappa M422 trainer that is going to be testing. I will probably adaptate this to my actual AR upper, just for all intents of review purposes, possibly, maybe, who knows. But I do more training with this because this is my $20 range day right here. This one doesn't go this particular MFT or Mission First Tactical handguard. This is probably their classic line, by the way. These handguards are made in Israel. This one doesn't go as far back as some of the others, but you know, it is what it is. Alright, we'll get that tightened down. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Alright, that's in stable. Now we'll go ahead and pull the rubber piece off. We'll go ahead and lace that in between the magazine well. Not a huge fan of cords, things to trip up. I'm sure you can cinch that up and do it with whatever with it. And this one is Velcroed in. There's better ways to secure that. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Magazine well, as you can see, it's on the weapon. By the way, this weapon was safety checked before the video, so none of you trolls criticize because I didn't safety check my weapon. I know this thing's unloaded, so get off me. If you don't like the video because I didn't safety check my weapon, don't watch the video. This is about a product review, not being a safety sale. Anyway, pretty much it. Pretty much how you hold it. You can hold your pressure switch. And that's not a whole lot to it. You know, you can hold it in. You can adjust your stock. Yep, it's fairly comfortable. I can hold it into my shoulder quite nicely. My initial thoughts on it. It's comfortable, but we'll see when we actually do some shooting. So hopefully I get out and do some shooting this weekend, and we'll put some of these parts after I go ahead and assemble them, and let's see how I like it. So that's basically my Mission First Tactical RMG or Reactive Magazine Well Grip. Or magazine well grip. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments on this particular product, I will definitely try to leave the link to Mission First Tactical at the bottom. If you have any questions or concerns or comments about LockNReload itself, leave them about this video. Leave them at the bottom as well, or go ahead and check out my entire channel. I got a lot of videos. I got a couple of them. But again, this is your Mission First Tactical RMG Reactive Magwell Grip. Feel free to rate, feel free to subscribe, feel free to leave a comment. As always, I'll catch you later.